We'll bring this meeting of the Nicolet City Council to order. Welcome administration, the people in the audience, and the rest of council. With that,
All right, Mayor Cook,
yes,
Councilwoman Grow,
Present.
Councilman Bond,
Here.
Councilman Shammy,
Here.
Councilwoman Wright,
Here.
Councilman Lindsay,
here.
and Vice Mayor Eggleston,
Here.
all seven.
And with that, we'll have the invocation by Chief Trustee.
Lord, we thank you for the day and your many blessings and many favors. We pray that you would be in this meeting. Let only thy perfect will be done. Bless our troops, our first responders, and their families. In Jesus' name, amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. With that, I need a motion for the regular meeting of 8:18 for the minutes.
So moved.
Mayor Cook,
Yes.
Councilwoman Grow,
Yes.
Councilman Bond,
Yes.
Councilman Shammy,
Yes.
Councilwoman Wright,
Yes.
Councilman Lindsay,
Abstain wasn't there?
and Vice Mayor Eggleston.
Yes.
Okay. Any communications that I'm not aware of?
No, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. Okay, and we'll go to Mr. Hall.
Okay. Well, thank you, Mr. Mayor, member of the public. All right. So we have a fairly short city manager's report this council meeting. All of our department reports will be available at the September 15th meeting. We just have a few items up for upcoming legislation. The insurance renewal, asked Mr. Kitko typically what time that drops. It's normally around the 1st of October, so that will be some legislation coming your way, along with an updated fee schedule. So that was one of the reasons why I wanted to give us a little bit of time tonight, because my planning director, Mr. Brian Moore, has completely gone through all of our fines and fees schedule. I guess the last time it has been updated was in 2018. So we're working on about 8 years since the last renewal. So at this time, if it's okay with you all, I'll give Mr. Brian Moore an opportunity to talk about the fee schedule.
Thank you, Mr. Hall. Members of council, thank you. Members of the public, thank you. So yes, went through and looked at some of the fees, like you said, since 2018. There was one introduced last year, but it was voted down for whatever reason, I don't really know. But I went through this, and some of our fees, there is one discrepancy that I found in our fee. Ordinance 1290.23 discusses for work started without a permit, it's supposed to be double that amount. However, in our penalty fee, in our schedule, it says it's only $10, currently $10. So there's a discrepancy there. Since 2018, the cost of mailing has gone insane. Stamps are insane price, envelopes, resources. And so just resources overall have increased in cost. And so I went through, and some of these were just added a $5 fee to, just to kind of keep up with the inflation of the cost that we have. I'd be happy to entertain any questions that anybody has.
Any questions?
We both.
Go ahead, Ken.
Oh, okay. I was going to ask why an above-ground pool needs a permit, because that's, I don't know, it just seems like a plaything to me. I mean, I know it's a dangerous thing and all, but I mean, I get the in-ground pool, but I don't get the above-ground pool. I was
So-
just wondering.
So there are some restrictions for above-ground pools, like they can't be placed under a power line. They have to be 5 feet from the side property line and 10 feet from the rear property line. They can't be in the front yards. So a permit kind of helps organize all that. So that's why we have that.
So is there a size? Because I mean, you know, you can have a kiddie pool
You
that's
can, yeah.
And so what size does it-
Like a 12-foot by 3 feet deep.
12 foot by 3 feet. Is that written somewhere so people?
It's in our code.
Okay, so it's in the code.
Yes.
All righty, well, that was my question about that.
There are some new fees in here that was added. The solar panel permit has been added to this draft. I do need clarification on the penalty fee. We talked about a special events permit that we could do administratively. We don't need an ordinance, I don't believe, for special events. But, you know, when we do special events, when you're talking about insurance, you're talking about electrical, there's a lot of different departments that a special event needs to go through. So a permit would be nice to have, so those documents come in organized. So we talked about doing a special events permit that is not added to this. We haven't really discussed a price or anything like that along those lines of what that would cost.
What's the vacation dedication permit?
So that's like a vacating an alley.
Okay.
So some alleys, like where Mr. Hall lives, the city vacated part of his driveway. It's an alley that is shared with him and his neighbor. And so if somebody's wanting to vacate an alley, a permit needs to be involved in that because there's usually two property owners and you need to know who's going to own what. So a permit helps justify that as well. There'll be a survey involved. So whoever's wanting to vacate, they would have to submit a survey along with that permit.
Makes sense. And what was the other part of that? The publication, what's that? Recording and
publication.
publication? Well, it said $35 for the recording and publication. Publication, I didn't know what that was about. Is that where you just tell everybody that this is no longer an alleyway?
I think that has to be, put it in like a legal ad.
Oh,
So that would have to go
Okay.
like for a planning board, there's an application for that as well.
wow, that wouldn't hardly pay for it, would it? Because ads are,
I just put one out this morning and it's $56 for 4 lines.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So these prices, even though they're not increased drastically, when you think about the quantity of how many permits I do every month, you know, in 2024, I did 141 permits. I'm at 247 permits to date. And we still have the rest of the year to go. So permits have increased a lot. I do a lot of permits, you know, from new residential builds, demos, you know, whatever. I even tie in some of the tool lending center permits so I can track who's getting tools from the tool lending center. It's not, there's no charge to that. It's obviously not in the fee schedule, but it allows me to track who's getting those tools so we can follow up and, you know, maybe the next summer or the next spring, if they need something, we can reach out to them directly versus them, you know, waiting until they're getting a violation notice because their grass is too tall.
okay.
And if I
Trying to be a
could
little more
interject
proactive.
just really quick, and I know a lot we talked about with the permits, a lot of it has to do with our 2 new developments. So to put things in perspective, residents weren't moving into their home until halfway through the year. So this kind of feeds into a larger conversation that I'm wanting to have with you guys as we go into budget season, that the impacts of the development on our staff. Just the amount of day-to-day operations that we're, you know, it's slowly trickling in. But, you know, now that we're, you know, moved to phase 2 for Arbor Homes, like, this is situation normal at this point for the foreseeable future, where, you know, we are going to have, you know, more residents, and with more residents,
More
you know,
stuff.
we have, you know, more administrative responsibilities.
And there's another thing that's not entirely added to this draft, because I want to have more of a conversation about it before we can really make a decision on which direction to go, and that is for sign removals. We have it in our code that you cannot place a sign in an easement. It cannot be on public property or city property. It cannot be on a telephone pole anywhere in the city. And we spend a lot of time with resources, staff, code enforcement, street department, removing those signs. Garage sale signs, political signs, businesses that aren't even here signs. There's another flow of signs in town right now from a company called Netco for foster care agencies.
I haven't seen those
They
yet.
have littered the whole entire 235 area with these signs. And there's no permit for that. That's not approved. Those are prohibited signage. And it costs money, taxpayer dollars, to send a code enforcement officer to remove those signs when they could be doing something else. So that's another thing I thought we would add to our sign permit is a sign permit removal fee. I would talk with Jake about they would get, you know, a violation up front first for due process. And if there's no compliance, then we would issue the fine for the $25. They would be invoiced that for the $25 removal.
Per sign?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
Are you done? Ken?
I'm done, yes.
Bill?
Mr. Moore, the ones that that are in the italics, is that the new pricing?
Yes.
It would have been helpful, I think, if we knew what the old pricing was. And how much, you said most of these just went up $5?
Yes.
Okay.
So I do have a copy, and maybe we should have put this in here. This was from the ordinance of 2024-29, the one that was voted down. If you want to pass that down through there, you could see that some of the increases were just $5. I think some of them, there was like, the new residential construction builds went up $10 per permit. And then what was also a mistake in past fee schedules was that major subdivisions of 5 or more lots, there's an estimated cost. So there's a subdividers agreement that talks about the infrastructure, and it's usually in the millions. Well, we were charging 2.5% of that. Well, if you think 2.5% of millions of dollars, that's a lot of money. It's supposed to be 0.025%. So there was a discrepancy in past fee schedules versus our code.
Yeah.
So I have gone into my software system and had them fix that, so it was consistent, but it's still printed on our website as being the wrong price.
Oh, really?
Is that going to be fixed on the website
Yeah, once we do a new fee schedule.
once this is
Yes.
approved? Okay.
And then, Mr. Moore, I know you did an incredible amount of research and homework on coming up with this fee and permit schedule. Did you analyze companion cities around to see if these are consistent?
Oh, yeah, we're still much lower.
We are.
Oh, yes.
So
You know,
following
just for a
kind of,
solar panel permit for a ground mounted solar panel, we're talking for us, $85 plus 50 cents a square foot for the size of the structure. Base price for most cities is $350, $400. So we're well below that average. Of course, we're not probably doing the volume that some of those cities are doing with solar panels, but we're a conservative town, so I wanted to make sure that we're not overcharging, people who want to get a permit, for something like that. But I do agree that there needs to be an increase just to cover, because we're losing money in the cost of the resources that we're not able to keep up with due to inflation.
What do you mean by conditional uses?
So a conditional use is what goes in front of the Board of Zoning Appeals, or it can also go in front of planning board depending on the situation. So a conditional use is, so we just had one in front of the BZA, that actually was a variance. A conditional use means so you wanted to do something on your property that's not typically permitted, but your property has a special circumstance. So you can either get a conditional use to use your property for that purpose if it doesn't take away from anybody else in the city or give you a special privilege. And that's decided by the planning board and or BZA, depending on what it is.
Okay, thank you.
For example, a variance is kind of very similar to that. So when we were doing the preliminary plans for the developments, they needed the roads to be a certain width. Our code said it had to be 28 feet, I believe it was. They wanted 25. And so they were given a variance or a conditional use to do that on that building.
I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Anything further? Go ahead, Mr. Bond.
Mr. Moore, real quick, on the signage topic again. So right now, is it illegal for people to put garage sale sign technically without going and getting a permit for a garage sale sign?
No, as long as it's on their property.
But I mean,
Well,
to put
no.
it,
To
yeah,
put it
at the
anywhere else.
corner,
No,
or like we
that-
have seen for our whole,
No. We
the whole
can't-
time I've been alive, I've seen garage sale
Right,
signs.
we
I
can't,
think.
there's no permit for a prohibited sign, and it's listed in our code as prohibited.
Is there a way, I just feel like a garage sale sign is different than somebody littering our main street with out-of-town business stuff or whatever. And is there a way that we can separate those two
Can.
and make it to where
Yeah.
local garage sale signs are okay and put something in there that they don't require you to pay for your garage sale sign, but if it's
Right.
anything else,
The thing
Like
is,
that.
so the Speedway property, the vacant Speedway property,
Yeah.
that's always flooded with garage sale signs. Well, nobody's asking that property owner for permission. If that was your property, would you want your property flooded with garage sale signs that they now don't have to have a permit for? because we're gonna go in and amend that section of our code saying garage sale signs are prohibited, or permitted.
Permitted,
Yes.
yeah.
Now, are we talking about on the property or the easement?
Well, I guess it would be on the easement is what I'm
Because
thinking
that's a
of.
visibility issue.
And it's also an infrastructure issue.
So there's other compounding
Piece,
issues with
yeah.
that outside of, we just don't like it optically. It can, like, if you're on the corner of a street and somebody puts it right there on the easement, like, you can't see around the sign per se if you're in a low-riding car. There's certain, and that goes to ORC.
Interesting.
Now, I know it's, also just the aesthetics, like,
Sure.
if there's 1,000, signs down the street, it just doesn't
Yeah.
look good and doesn't help people's property values.
Okay.
But I think as a garage source or a political sign, I don't think there's anything in the code that prohibits that in the person's actual yard.
Correct.
Yeah, if it's on a private property.
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can have
okay.
garage sale signs, political signs. You can't advertise businesses without a permit for that.
Right.
But unless it's a home occupation, you can do that for home occupations because that's a permitted sign.
Now, I
You have a
do
little
think
bakery.
with that, those signs have to be a certain size.
Yes, they
Like
can't
if
be larger
you,
than that 12 by
like I forget
15 or whatever.
the issue
garage sale.
2 or something, one of those issues that came out last year or 2 years ago. There were some people who had extremely large signs that
Yes.
were on their
4
private
by 8.
property, and
Yeah,
that was
the billboards.
prohibited without a permit.
Yeah, those were billboards. Those were prohibited, yes.
Okay.
And that's
I
a
was just try-
slippery slope, like when you're the code guy and you gotta make that call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right now, are we violating freedom of speech? And that was the first question that person said. Well, it's not what you're saying, it's how big you're saying
It's,
it.
yeah.
And then it also gets us into what I call like grocery shopping the law.
Right.
Where it's like, this ordinance is kind of outdated, doesn't really make sense, we're just not gonna follow it.
Yeah.
Like me, in charge of day-to-day operations, like, that's where I call Jake, talk with you guys, maybe we need to rescind that legislation, that,
We're
make
not
an
gonna-
amendment to that ordinance. That's my responsibility to say, hey, guys, this thing's a little dated now, or doesn't make sense. And that feeds into another larger conversation about the code rewrite, because we do have numerous
Yeah.
issues within our code.
Okay.
And I wanted to mention one more thing before, if you go back to like my last month's planning report, you'll see that there were some sidewalk, gutter, concrete permits that people had paid for, and some that were not. The ones that are for the new developments, those are included in the subdividers agreement, so there's no additional cost for them to get a permit. They still have to fill out the paperwork for it, so we can do the inspection. So if you see, Lightfoot Court or, Waverly Way in my planning report, and it's a sidewalk permit, and there's no fee attached to that, that's what that's for, just for future reference.
I had a question the other day, and it's funny we're talking about this. Neighbor down the street wants to change their fence, not take the whole fence down, but change the panels on it. Do you need a permit for that?
Yes,
What?
you need a permit for that, based on how the code is written.
To replace your wooden fence
Correct.
panels?
Yes.
Really?
That doesn't
That
seem
doesn't even make
logical.
sense.
That doesn't make sense,
Doesn't
because
make
you've already got
sense to
the
me either, but
structure
that's what's
there.
in our code.
Well, then we need to
That
change
needs to be
that.
strict.
That needs
I
to
agree, there's a
change.
whole laundry list of things in the code.
Holy
Yeah,
cow,
that
that
needs
is
to be
deep.
changed.
Now, if they're taking the whole fence down, and putting
Yeah.
a new one up, I see.
That's
one
different.
But just to replace a panel or a couple of boards, that's,
50% or more.
yeah,
And who's policing that? That's the next question. So
nobody,
Well,
because
that's
I'm
why it
gonna do
has
it,
to
I'm gonna do it
go.
at midnight when y'all are asleep.
it's usually on
Yes.
Saturday or Sunday. I'll promise you that.
Yeah, Saturday
Supposed
or
to
Sunday,
show your
right.
paint.
I mean, there's numerous, but I mean, the thing is elected officials at some point in time put this legislation, up for a vote, and they approved it. So just like you guys are issuing legislation, almost every council meeting, 30 years into the future, like the mechanism for that is to work with our law director, make changes, make amendments, rescind things that are outdated. It's just unfortunately, it's been a long time since a hard scrub of our code has been done. And again, that's a larger conversation that we'll have this fall when we have a complete working session on it. Because it's tough. It's tough to do Mr. Moore's job and Mr. Harris's job.
It's very gray,
They-
very, very gray.
There is a lot of, the finance world gets very black and white. It's, you're in the red, you're in the black. Numbers are pure, but, when you work and, Mr. Jeffries could speak much more intelligently to this, like, there's a lot of gray matter in the law. That's why we have a law director, is to help us with the interpretation side of it, because you can't just read words on paper sometimes. You have to, reach out to the professional to be like, what is the intent of this? Does this fit in the box of, why the law was written, and so on and so forth. So I think Mr. Moore and Mr. Harris do a phenomenal job with the resources they have, though.
Go ahead.
On the zoning code text, you got 10 cents a page. I think it costs more than 10 cents to print a page now, don't it?
Yeah.
With ink and the price of paper, so maybe that should be raised at least a dime maybe, or a nickel at least.
Okay.
Because you saying earlier that, postage and stuff, well, it is ridiculous. I don't see the notifications unless I'm just not seeing it. It's here somewhere, I'm sure.
It wouldn't be in this, no.
The notification prices should go up too, to keep current with the postage, and supplies.
I think that's where it comes down to the fines. So if they go to mayor's court and they're assessed a fine, that's something that's.
Yeah, but they give up all the fines when they access them, so what good does that do?
I don't have an answer for that question. But I know other
Don't have
cities
an
do
answer.
that. I know other cities do that. Their code enforcement issues a citation, and the citation has a fine attached to it. And instead of, they can appeal it to their mayor's court or to their municipal court, but ours is a little different. We give them a notice of violation. They can appeal to our BZA. If that goes south and they don't do that, or they don't do or remedy the violation at all, then we submit it to mayor's court. And then it's up to the magistrate whether or not they want to assess the fine on the misdemeanor charge. So we don't make that decision collectively as a staff on whether or not they're getting a fine. That's up to the mayor's court to decide.
Right. Hey, thank you.
Anything further?
Thank you, sir. I think that covers our discussion topics. And that concludes the city manager's report.
All righty.
Oh, short.
I assume there are no committee reports. So we'll go to comments from the members of the public. So if any of you ladies have got anything to say, it's your turn.
You can do that. Do the drum roll.
Janelle Zimmerman, 219 Prentice Drive. This is kind of silly, but I couldn't pass it up. On this, animals running at large down here, it says, "No person who is the owner or keeper of horses, mules, cattle, sheep, goats, swine, dogs, cats, geese, or other fowl shall have a permit, should not permit them to run at large." So does that mean if I keep my little lamb in my backyard to mow my grass, that I'm okay?
I guess if it doesn't get out, but you're not allowed to have a lamb in the city.
But it doesn't say that in this thing. It just says if you own it or keep it, you can't let it run at large.
Are you going to rent goats and let them do your backyard?
Well, they do have people that rent them out.
People talking about that.
But I've seen these really cute little lambs that are white with these black markings, and I thought, it could go out there and eat my grass, and that would be very nice. But I didn't really think, council would think it was a good idea, but.
Just let it run at large.
But if that's all it says. It doesn't say you can't have it. It just says if you have it, you have to keep it on your
You
property.
can get a shock collar.
I think that's a gray area you guys were talking
No,
about.
I have a very clear
Yeah, there's another ordinance about that.
Yeah,
There you go.
Well, there's an ordinance that say you can't have it, but if you would just read this ordinance, you might think you could.
So that ordinance is only particular for that topic, and it was for dogs, generally speaking. But
that's not what it
Or, so you can have agricultural land in the city where those animals are permitted.
Yeah, that's
And that would be okay to use that ordinance for that purpose, but in residential districts, they're not permitted.
They just,
Yes.
well, I was sure it wasn't, but when I read that, I thought, oh,
But
Another
Get it.
word bad.
Bring your label over there, say,
Is that a gray area?
We need to have her proofread all these before they go out.
Good idea.
I didn't notice it the first time I read it, but later I thought, oh. And I had another question. When you put your limbs out to get picked up, it says to put them with the direction of traffic, but it doesn't say which end. Do you want the stick end at the back, or do you want the leafy end for them to pick
I
up?
don't think it really matters.
Well, it said, I thought the way it was worded, it was supposed to be a certain
It
way.
also says bundled, and I've seen people just put piles. They use that big machine with the,
Yeah.
They come
with
along.
the claw.
I didn't notice it said bundled, I just thought they were supposed to be together, all going the
Used to
same
say
direction.
bundled,
They were
yeah,
all supposed to
yeah.
go the same
That makes it
direction.
easier to scoop it up.
So it doesn't matter which way
Yeah, the
you...
limb, the branch of the limb needs to be running like parallel with the lines of the road or with the sidewalk.
Yeah,
So you don't want them, all of them, bunched up, crisscrossed and stuff because of the tool that they utilize to
To
grab
pick it
the
up.
limb. So they can just, and it doesn't really matter. You can have leafy ends on this side and leafy ends on this side. It's just so the claw can get in there
okay, I
and grab them.
might do that soon, and I wanted to make sure they were going the right way, so I guess that's all I had.
Ben, you have something else?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
All right. With that, I guess we're done with that portion. I guess we'll go to resolutions and ordinance.
Okay, so resolutions, there's one introduction and one action tonight. Resolution 2025-11R, introduced on 9/2/25, public hearing and action tonight. A resolution appointing the city manager as a designee for the public records training program required by the Ohio Public Works Act.
So moved.
Second.
Summary of this resolution is essentially what it says. I will be satisfying the public records training for all of city council. They have both, if you guys are interested, at both they have an online version that you can do at your own pace, or you can, it's also offered at the Ohio Municipal League Conference that's coming up in October that I plan to attend, but I will probably ensure to do it online. So just in case an emergency happened or something like that, I think they keep like a roster. So I may do both, but I'll make sure I satisfy that for you guys.
Any other comment? Go ahead.
I will probably do it online. I might go with you, it depends
Okay.
on the date and my schedule. Yeah, I'd rather do it myself instead of having you do it for me.
Yes, sir.
Any others?
Okay, Councilman Bond,
Yes.
Councilman Shammy,
Yes.
Councilwoman Wright,
Yes.
Councilman Lindsay,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Eggleston,
Yes.
Mayor Cook,
Yes.
and Councilwoman Grove.
Yes.
Accepted 7-0. The ordinances, there's two introductions and one action tonight. Ordinance 2025-39E, introduction, public hearing, and action tonight. An ordinance amending section 276.06 of the codified ordinances of the city of New Carlisle for the purpose of increasing the membership of the Social Services Commission and declaring an emergency.
So moved.
Second.
Summary of this ordinance, per your request of expanding the size of the Social Services Commission from 5 members to 7 members, in order to, establish the commission as expeditiously as possible. We decided to do this as an emergency, so we can follow suit with having the remaining interviews a week from tonight and appoint oaths and appointments, or I guess appointments and oaths on the 22nd of September.
Any further questions? Go ahead, Kathy.
Last time I had asked if we could go like a minimum of 5 and a maximum of 7, and that way our hands won't be tied if we have a fluctuation in the membership. I guess we're not able to do that because it's marked out.
You just establish the number of members. I mean, there's the possibility that you're not going to have a full 7 members. I know some of the other boards and commissions have had that issue. So as long as you have enough.
Which
to
is
achieve
half
a
or 4?
quorum.
Okay.
So, right, you're basically increasing the quorum from 3 to 4 with this. But it just allows more members to be involved.
Right, okay, just clarifying.
And the likelihood of, we both served on the Charter Commission together, that, when you have a pool of 7 commission members compared to 5, the likelihood that, you're going to get at least 4, has been increased by 2, so.
Right.
It's actually better odds.
So it is 4?
Correct.
I thought it was.
You have to have the
okay.
majority of the commission.
All right.
So it'd be 3, and then we're going to 4, but we're bumping up 2 positions.
Right,
Basically, more likely to have quorum than with 5.
okay, that's fine.
Okay, Vice Mayor Eggleston,
Yes.
Mayor Cook,
Yes.
Councilwoman Grove,
Yes.
Councilman Bond,
Yes.
Councilman Shammy,
Yes.
Councilwoman Wright,
Yes,
Councilman Lindsay.
Yes.
Accepted 7-0. Ordinance 2025-40, introduction tonight, public hearing and action on 9/15/25. An ordinance appointing the employee and employing a director of law and authorizing the city manager to enter into contract for legal services. And other business, open for any other city-related business.
We have the proclamation to be given out Sunday, and as I understand it, it will be at 11 o'clock up at Studebaker's. I believe they're going to have breakfast first, so consequently, somewhere around the 11 o'clock hour, they will probably invite us in to give the proclamation. And Don, do you know whether that banner has made it into the city yet?
Not sure, I'll have to check on that, sir.
All right, because that, I wanted to make that a part of that presentation. And I know April's on vacation, so.
Yeah, let me-
But,
Let me verify on that. At the very least, maybe we can bring an example or something, and hopefully we can have that for Sunday, though.
so other than that, are any of you planning on being there besides Mr. Hall and
What
Vice
date
Mayor
is,
and
what date is
myself?
that, sir?
Sunday.
The 7th, Sunday at 11
I'll be there.
at Studebaker.
I'll be at church.
I have church.
Yeah. I'll go.
It's a special outdoor service.
I could go
Are
too,
you buying breakfast,
but
Mr. Mayor?
are we allowed to have?
Are you buying breakfast, Mr. Mayor?
Okay, yeah. No,
That's a long
I will reserve that.
Do we have, are we going to do a birthday card for him that we can all sign? That would be nice.
We can do that.
good idea.
I move that Carrie Ann's in charge of that.
I second that.
All in favor, say aye.
I am a birthday
Sarah?
specialist, just saying.
Yeah, you are.
You have a degree in Hallmark.
But I had assumed that we would probably set up out in the main lobby area. I'm assuming they're going to take the small room, so they would call us in. So, other than that, have you got anything in regard to that, Mr. Eggleston?
I talked to both of the sons, and they're excited about it.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor.
I assume we have an executive session?
Yes, Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Mayor,
Go ahead.
before we go into executive session, I'd like to thank council for excusing me for my multiple surgeries I've had in the last few weeks. I'm in therapy at the moment with it. They're beating the living tar out of me. Didn't think I was gonna make it tonight because my shoulder feels like there's an ice pick sticking in it. It is not funny, chief. That and I've torqued it a couple of times sitting here because I forget I shouldn't be moving it. So I just wanted to thank council for excusing me for those meetings I missed last month.
Kathy, you had something else?
Yeah, I did. I'm talking about the roadblock on Scott Street here. I kind of don't like that, and I think it's way past time to take that down. We have, 11 people already living there, and I know there's a couple more thinking of moving in soon. It just seems to me very rude to the residents. I just, some of the residents are moving it out of the way so they can come into town the easy way instead of having to make that stupid Y down there at, what is it, Addison Carlisle, I guess it is. So I don't know. I would like that roadblock to come down. That plat's well on its way, and I don't think there's a point in it now, my opinion.
Okay, I know this is more of a Mr. Kiko question.
I do know that.
Alderson.
Okay, because I know I've also asked about this as well. Mr. Moore,
So
you want to go
I've had a
ahead?
conversation with the director of Arbor Homes, the builder, and it's there for safety purposes because they're still building homes there on Scott Street, and they still don't have all the infrastructure in. So when he said they're done with the Scott Street, they will remove the barricades.
There's very few homes that aren't built there on
Yeah,
Scott Street.
There's permits, they're already in, they're not built yet. They want to get the ground broke and get the infrastructure in. And there needs to be sidewalks on both sides of the road before they can remove those barricades, because kids are going to be traveling to school, and they have to
They
get
already
sidewalks
probably
around.
are traveling to school, so. All right, well, I do want this taken care of very quickly, though, because it's just very rude to the residents. They're using our streets. We should be able to use their streets if we want to, so that's all. It just looks very bad, my opinion.
Have we accepted that road into the city?
We accepted it? Yes, I believe so, yeah. No, I share the same concern. I've talked to a couple of the residents who have moved in there and are about to move in there, and that is probably their biggest concern.
It is the biggest concern right now with that, yes.
A plan in place, with, working with ODOT for the access road that'll go in front of IGA, along with, once the construction ends on that end of Scott Street that they're finishing, the last builds there on that stretch, then my understanding is they're, opening up, that. So I'll have to talk, Mr. Kiko is out on vacation this week, but we'll make that a point of emphasis to make sure to discuss with him upon his.
I would
return.
appreciate that, and at least give me a time. I mean, it's time. It is
Yes,
time.
ma'am. Absolutely.
Anything else? All right, I guess I need a motion to go into executive session.
Mr. Mayor, move to go into executive session to discuss the appointment, employment, a dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, or compensation of a public employee or official.
Second.
Councilwoman Wright?
Yes.
Councilman Lindsay?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Eggleston?
Yes.
Mayor Cook?
Yes.
Councilwoman Grow?
Yes.
Councilman Bond?
Yes.
Councilman Shammy?
Yes.
We're back in regular session.
You did that wrong.
Yeah.
We didn't vote.
We
We
need to
need-
vote. Sorry about that.
Need a motion.
Go ahead.
It's a motion to return to regular session.
Right.
Councilwoman Wright?
Yes.
Councilman Lindsay?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Eggleston?
Yes.
Mayor Cook?
Yes.
Councilwoman Grow?
Yes.
Councilman Bond?
Yes.
Councilman Shammy?
Yes.
Mr. Mayor,
Go ahead.
I move to make the firefighter of the year award would be Kevin
Steven.
Stevens.
Second.
Okay?
We could bunch those together.
No. Individual.
Okay, so the motion to select Kevin Stevens for firefighter of the year. Councilman Shammy?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wright?
Yes.
Councilman Lindsay?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Eggleston?
Yes.
Mayor Cook?
Yes.
Councilwoman Grow?
Yes.
And Councilman Bond?
Yes.
Mr. Mayor,
Go ahead.
move to appoint or accept Dylan, I forget his last name, Dreyfus, I think?
Dupuy.
Dupuy?
DuPaul, as the junior award member,
Second.
person?
Councilwoman Wright?
Yes.
Councilman Lindsay?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Eggleston?
Yes.
Mayor Cook?
Yes.
Councilwoman Grow?
Yes.
Councilman Bond?
Yes.
And Councilman Shammy?
Yes.
I forgot the third name.
Angela.
Mr. Mayor,
Who is it?
Angela.
Oh, Angela. Ben's got
I
it.
can do. Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to accept Angela Gump as Employee of the Year.
Second.
Councilwoman Wright,
Yes.
Councilman Lindsay,
Absolutely.
Vice Mayor Eggleston,
Yes.
Mayor Cook,
Yes.
Councilwoman Grow,
Yes.
Councilman Bond,
Yes.
and Councilman Shammy.
Yes.
Mr. Mayor,
Go ahead.
one more motion for you, sir. I move that we present all these awards at a council meeting. If possible, one of them in October, depending if we can get the stuff done.
Second.
Councilwoman Wright,
Yes.
Councilman Lindsay,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Eggleston,
Yes.
Mayor Cook,
Yes.
Councilwoman Grow,
Yes.
Councilman Bond,
Yes.
Councilman Shammy.
Yes.
Mr. Mayor,
Go
if
ahead.
nothing else from council or administration, I move to adjourn.
Second.
Councilwoman Wright,
Yes.
Councilman Lindsay,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Eggleston,
Yes.
Mayor Cook,
Yes.
Councilwoman Grow,
Yes.
Councilman Bond,
Yes.
and Councilman Shammy.
Yes.